大家好，我是 Olive Branch Island。首先，祝大家新春快乐。So you're coming back from the holidays and probably you spent a lot of good time and had a lot of good eats with your friends and family. And now you're probably thinking about getting back into your routine, maybe going to the gym, getting some exercise in there, and probably your first priority is to burn all that fat that you've gained. But have you ever actually thought about why you're doing the exercise? What is the fitness for? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about other benefits than just burning fat. Well, there are a lot of other benefits to your life that I'm going to share with you. So stay tuned and listen up. For those of you who don't exercise, then perhaps this video can also help inspire you as to why exercise is actually extremely important for you as well. So when we're talking about fitness, you need to understand that, like in all evolutionary biology, there's always going to be some stimulation followed by an adaptation. For example, when you're exposed to a lot of sunlight or UV light, then that stimulation causes your body to produce more melanin. That's your adaptation, because when your skin gets darker, it actually protects your skin cells from more UV damage. Now, like that, when you bring that to fitness, it's the same, where when you put a lot of stressors to the body, like lifting heavy weights or running farther or longer, your body actually adapts by getting stronger, or your body becomes more adept at running farther and faster distances. By far, one of the most important things of exercise is getting stronger. Now, of course, everybody knows that that means building stronger muscles, but it also includes building stronger bones, as well as the connective tissues surrounding the joints. So like your cartilage, your ligaments, and your tendons, they all get stronger. Now, this is very important when you're trying to stave off osteoporosis. So when you get older, your bones get more brittle, and exercise does a great job in preventing that from happening, as well as any joint-related injuries like sprains. So this is actually very important when you build up connective tissue strength, that they won't sprain as easily or they won't tear as easily. Another benefit to fitness is also the side effect of building mental strength. Now, most people might not think about this, but in fact, it's actually a very, very important aspect of training, because as you're training, you're pushing yourself to very uncomfortable areas. And by persevering, you're actually building more self-confidence in your own abilities. I have a story where I have actually many clients that I train, where when we get them to exercise and to lift a certain weight, they always start off by saying, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. It's too heavy. I can't do that. But once I convince them to give it a try, they in fact not only are able to lift it, but they surpass the upper bound, so they can actually do more than I asked them to. They are much more capable of doing exercise, physical work, more than what they perceive themselves to be. So they're always setting their limits too low. And so by exercising, you actually start to realize your abilities, your confidence goes up, and your ability to do more work and harder, more strenuous work is a lot more than you realize. So if you're blessed with skinny jeans, meaning like you don't look fat, even though you might not be living a very healthy lifestyle, you still look relatively fit, but you don't exercise at all, well, consider this, where if you had an active childhood, at least in high school, university, you've been active, then after the age of 23, maybe you graduate, you're starting to work, your activity level really starts to drop, meaning you're not doing any exercise. And your body actually starts to lose a lot of its strength every year as you age. Up to 5%, some studies have shown, where you're just getting weaker. And if you don't do any exercise, that 5% starts to compound year after year after year. And so by the time you're in maybe middle age or maybe even middle 30s, you're significantly weaker than when you're in school. So this is something you need to consider, because as you get weaker, your bones and your connective tissues are getting very weak, to the point where you might actually start to get osteoporosis at a premature age, meaning your bones might break because they're so brittle. The next point is, when you're thinking about fitness, is that it actually helps you to become more resilient. And what do I mean by resilient is that you become more resilient to stress, so mental stress. You become more resilient to disease, getting sick, and of course resilient to injury, as I just mentioned. Because as you're getting stressors from outside of your lifestyle, pressure, financial pressure, family relationships, all these cortisol, the stress hormone, starts to inflame your body. And stress is a very negative factor if it's chronic, meaning it affects you for long periods of time. And so exercise is a very good way to relieve that stress as a valve, as a release valve. But also because it's a feel-good activity where you're producing a lot of endorphins, which is a hormone that makes you feel good. It's a natural painkiller. And so not only that, but you're actually less sick because you're building up your immune system. When you exercise, your immune system gets stronger. So exercise is actually very good for improving the quality of your sleep as well, because A, it allows you to expend a lot of physical energy during the day. So by the time you get to night, your body's already really tired. Also, as I mentioned in my previous point, it allows you to de-stress your mind. So again, by the time you want to sleep, your mind is not so busy thinking about all your stresses and worries about your daytime. And lastly, exercise is very good for improving your mindset and your mood. As mentioned, when you're exercising, your body naturally starts to produce a lot of natural painkillers called endorphins, and they block out the pain, and it just makes you feel good about your life. And so this is very good for managing stress, as I mentioned, but also it just puts you in the right mindset. You're more positive, you're more encouraging to others, you want to relate with others, you're more empathetic. So these are all positives for exercise. And last I wanted to mention is how you want to think about your fitness journey. And I say journey because it is more of a journey than it is a destination. You don't want to exercise to get to a certain point in your fitness level, to get maybe a six-pack abs, or just to look good and lose fat and gain a certain amount of muscle mass and lift a certain amount of weight. That's not the point. It's the journey, meaning you really want to experience every time you're going to the gym. It's the act of doing it that actually is the most beneficial. You don't want to always be striving for a goal. You should just be enjoying the moment or appreciating what you're doing for the body and the mind. And so this is why exercising in some ways is like life. You know, there's a lot of hardships, but through the hardship, you will find the gains, the benefits. And all the things I mentioned above are the benefits of exercise. It's not just about losing fat, and it's not just about looking big and muscular. So this really just segues into my conclusion, which is basically you want to exercise because it really increases the quality of your life. And that's why we're trying to be healthy, is because all aspects of your life will be impacted by how healthy you are, and quality of life will be impacted by how strong your body is and how fit your mind is. So that's it, guys. I hope you found that video informative. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you next time.